Elvis returns, Filipino teen shocks AGT, judges can't breathe. The moment 17-year-old Lucas stepped onto the America's Got Talent stage, the entire theater seemed to fall into a strange, electric silence. He wasn't dressed like Elvis. He didn't look like him. He didn't even try to imitate the king's swagger. Yet something in the way he held the microphone, gently, like it meant the world to him, pulled everyone in before he even spoke. His hands trembled, not from fear, but from the weight of the promise he had come to fulfill. Lucas grew up in a tiny coastal town in the Philippines, where storms often stole more than roofs, they stole dreams. His mother, a schoolteacher, had once told him, kindness is the only thing storms can't wash away. After she passed away, those words became the fire in his heart. He began singing at shelters, charity drives, and street corners, not for money, but to make people forget their pain, if only for a moment. His voice wasn't just a gift, it was his way of healing the world in small, quiet ways. But one night, something happened that changed everything. During a relief event after a devastating typhoon, Lucas noticed a little girl crying alone, her clothes soaked, her eyes empty. Instead of heading to the stage, he knelt beside her. He wrapped his old jacket around her shoulders and began humming the lullaby his mother used to sing. As he sang, a crowd slowly formed around them. People who moments earlier had been panicked and hopeless now stood still, listening, breathing, remembering that they were not alone. It was that night, when his song turned a disaster zone into a circle of comfort, that Lucas realized his voice had a purpose bigger than applause. When a local volunteer secretly recorded him singing and posted it online, the clip went viral overnight. Comments poured in calling him, the Filipino kid who sings with his soul, and some even joked that, Elvis must have returned. But Lucas never let it get to his head. He was still the same teen who sang for people who needed warmth, the same boy who carried his mother's words like a compass. Now standing under the bright AGT lights, Lucas felt the memory of that little girl tug at his heart. If he made it on this stage, he thought, maybe he could use his voice to help even more people, to bring the same comfort to the world that his mother once brought to him. "What are you here for today?" Simon asked, leaning forward with a mixture of curiosity and caution. Lucas swallowed. To remind people that kindness still matters," he said softly. "And I hope my voice can do that." The judges blinked, surprised. No bragging, no theatrics, just truth. The music began, soft, slow, haunting. The first note that escaped Lucas's lips was so rich, so warm, so startlingly sincere that the entire audience gasped. It wasn't just the timbre of his voice that mirrored Elvis, it was the emotion behind it. He didn't imitate Elvis. He channeled the heart in the music, the humanity in every lyric. Halfway through the song, something unexpected happened. A man in the audience, gray-haired, dressed in a faded military jacket, began trembling. Tears rolled down his cheeks. The cameras zoomed in without hesitation. Lucas saw him, and without breaking the flow of the song, he walked off the stage and approached the man. Security stepped forward, confused, but Lucas simply placed his hand on the man's shoulder and continued singing, inches away from him. The trembling stopped. The man closed his eyes and whispered, "My wife, she loved this song." Lucas's voice softened, then deepened, carrying the sorrow, the love, the memory the man had poured into those few words. The entire room went breathless. Even the judges sat frozen, their eyes shining. For a moment, it didn't feel like a performance. It felt like a moment of shared humanity, one boy's voice stitching together pieces of a stranger's broken heart. When Lucas finished the last note, no one clapped at first. They couldn't. They were too overcome. Then, suddenly, boom. The theater erupted. People stood, shouting, cheering, crying. And then the judges rose too, Howie, Heidi, Sophia, and even Simon, who rarely stood unless something felt once in a lifetime. Simon leaned into his microphone, speechless. He opened his mouth, closed it, then finally whispered, "Lucas, I don't know what just happened. But that wasn't singing. That was healing." Sophia wiped her tears. "You didn't just perform," she said, voice shaking. "You gave us a reminder of what love sounds like." And then, without waiting another second, Howie slammed the golden buzzer. Golden confetti exploded from above, swirling around Lucas like a storm of dreams finally breaking open. But Lucas didn't look up. He looked back at the man in the military jacket, who whispered, "Thank you for bringing her back to me for one more minute." Lucas smiled gently. "Kindness never disappears," he said. "My mom taught me that." As the audience roared, Lucas felt something different, not triumph, but peace. The world could be loud, chaotic, painful, but moments like this proved that compassion still had the power to stop everything, even just for a heartbeat. And in that heartbeat, hope returned.